Welcome back to the dojo, everybody. This is True Talk with TRUMOTION, where a couple of guys talk about how to make the world a better place and hopefully make your day a little bit better in the process. My name is Mark, followed by my co-host Stephen.
Hello there.
All right, let's get things kicked off. Well, it's been an interesting week in the dojo. We've got school coming to an end, so kids are all wild and crazy and ready for school to be out. So they got to find a way to get their energy out here in the dojo.
Yeah, we're the only school that's still open right now, so
yeah,
pretty good.
That's true.
We don't close over the summer.
No, yeah, I was going to be like, we're the only school open.
Yeah.
Now I gotcha.
You got it.
I get it now.
It's early.
It is early. It's been a long couple of days.
It has
so,
been.
Yeah, but how's your week been?
It's been all right.
Yeah.
Been a long couple of days, as you mentioned. Got some stuff that I've been working on and hopefully working through and getting better every day. So
getting some new projects going.
Something like that. Yeah. Mostly just fixing problems and help myself out with that. But yeah, it's been a good week. Definitely looking at that summer and looking at traveling, seeing what I can do.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be a lot of fun to travel. But again, I don't know. I took a trip last year. It's a lot of fun. Kind of stressful though. Kind of a big.
Well, you took
ordeal.
a huge trip. I mean, most trips are not that long.
That's right.
So
it would not be that long.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't. I say most people, but yeah, we have
people that are leaving
8 families
for that
here
period of time. Yes,
they go for like 4 to 8 weeks at a time, and it's like, holy smokes, good for them.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Good for them. I don't know if I could do that.
I couldn't hang out with my family that long. That's for sure.
I possibly could hang out with my family. I mean, because I see them all the time.
Yeah,
but
don't you have relatives outside of Utah?
Some, yeah. Yeah, well, all of them.
All of your relatives,
except for my parents and my sister.
We're the
only Utahns here.
Okay.
So, I don't have a whole lot of cousins, and so it's very interesting when you hear these families from Utah talk about like, oh, I'm going to hang out with my cousins.
We're all getting together and we're road tripping to somewhere else.
Yeah, that is a completely foreign concept to me because like,
what is this?
On my mom's side of the family, I have one first cousin. That's it. So my dad's side is a lot bigger comparatively speaking, but it's still relatively small. Let's see, on my dad's side of the family, I have like 5 first cousins.
Wow.
That's it. So,
okay.
It's like we have students who have 5 first cousins from one uncle or aunt.
Yeah. They have an older sibling that already has kids, and so they have nephews and nieces and multiples of such.
Exactly. But no, I'm definitely not the prototypical Utah family, so to speak. So
makes sense.
Where are you thinking about going?
I don't know yet. I'm just still trying to figure that out, planning things. Obviously I want to visit people, so it's a lot of fun to do that. So it's like,
it's also fun to go somewhere where you don't visit people.
Really? Like where? Like southern Utah? Central?
Yeah. No.
Where the rocks are?
Obviously, yeah, like there's a lot of cool places inside our state that most people don't really know about. Like, I've only been to one of our quote unquote national parks.
Only one?
Yeah, and we have 5.
You have 5. We have 5.
Yeah, we have 5 of some of the most beautiful landscapes in the world. And so it's like, do I need to go outside of the state of Utah to see a lot of stuff?
That's the problem. It's very easy to stay inside the state.
But you are leaving the state of Utah, and there's a lot of things outside of the state of Utah.
There's a lot of things. Like, there's a thing called happy hour. It exists outside the state.
Exactly. Yeah, so I like traveling because, again, growing up as a kid, my version of vacation was I would go to California and see my grandparents. Mm-hmm. Or we would go to Miami and see my dad's parents. Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
Like, I think I went on one quote unquote real vacation. My parents and my sister and my grandma went to Hawaii for like a week.
Whoa.
And I'm not downplaying it. That was really cool.
I know.
I mean, a lot of people haven't been to Hawaii, but like that's the only like non-family related trip I think I ever went on
You still went with family, right?
Yeah, we still went with family.
Yeah.
So
just didn't go visit family because you don't have family in Hawaii.
Didn't visit family in Hawaii. Exactly. So, yeah, Shanna wants to plan a couple of trips this year as well. That's the only way to keep her happy is she's got to go out of town. She's got to go to a beach at least once a year. So, yeah.
I can understand that.
A beach and a football game, which I'm not complaining about. So, like the fact that she wants to go to a football game for a vacation, it's like, yes, please. So, but yeah, it's vacation time. We're starting to think about vacation time.
It's crazy how contagious it is.
It really is. Once you start hearing about people going out of town, you're like, man, I feel like I need to go out of town.
That could be me. That could
be me. Like I could go out of town too.
I mean,
that doesn't sound like a bad idea. Yeah. No, vacation, a lot of fun, good time. So if you have the ability to go, go.
Yeah.
Just plain and simple. So, yeah, no, it's been a crazy week for me. Wednesday evening, or I should say, evening, not night. Wednesday evening, I decided to take my family out to the range, so we went to the range.
On the range.
Yeah. Maya had an unfortunate, scary incident with someone at her apartment pool, and I was like, well, let's go to the range. I'm not saying you like pull out something and tag somebody that way, but it's like you need to learn how to handle firearms, and it is actually really fun to shoot targets.
It's kind of fun.
You hit a little bit of an explosion, and
there's a reward factor. You do something, you get rewarded.
Yeah, exactly. You pull the trigger, bang goes off, and then there's a hole in the paper.
Like, wow, I feel good.
Yeah, it's surprising. And she really pushed herself a lot because she's only been maybe once or twice. Guns aren't like, she's not anti-gun, but they're just not really her thing.
That's okay.
Yeah. Because she had an incident like when she was younger where I think she was shooting with her grandpa or something, and they gave her way too big of a rifle, and she stuck her eye right up to the,
oh man,
the scope, and it gave her a kiss and hit her in the eye. So she's been a little scared of them ever since. So, but she started off with a 22 and did really well with that. She likes that one. Then she worked up to a 38 or 380, not a 38, 380, 380 auto, and then worked up to a 9. She didn't shoot a 45. I was like, that might be a little too much for you for a handgun. And then she shot a 223, and she was nervous about that, but the second she started shooting it, she was like,
very, very addicting.
She's like, that was fun. And I was like, yeah, I know.
Yes.
Because she was worried about the recoil. I'm like, it's nothing.
It's got a gas system,
Yeah, it's very manageable.
It's very easy.
And we had it suppressed, so it was quieter. And I think that really helped too. Because sometimes the noise is a real big deterrent.
Oh, especially in an indoor range.
Yeah, indoor range. It's like all the concussive sounds.
I don't like shooting indoor ranges because of the noise.
Yeah, it's very loud.
Yeah.
Very loud. And then you got, who else knows what they're shooting next to you? Because we went to T&T where you have your own private lane, which is fantastic. It's really cool. But it's loud. All of a sudden you're sitting there and like, you boom! And you're like, holy smokes.
Yeah.
What are they shooting over there? And it's like just a revolver or something. So we did that Wednesday evening. And then like literally the second I get home, my mom texts me and was like, hey, you need to take your dad to the hospital. So took him to the hospital Wednesday evenings, stayed the night there until about 3 a.m. Dropped him off, came home, woke up, gave him a call, be like, how's he doing? They're like, not well. So took him back to the ER, and then they finally admitted him. And nothing like it. It's interesting with him. It's one of those things to where he was not feeling well, fluids coming out of him. We'll just kind of leave it at that. The problem with that is, one, he faces dehydration because he doesn't like to hydrate himself, contrary to, however many times you tell him. Yeah. So his kidney levels start getting really bad, and he's a liver transplant recipient. So the fact that he can't take his medication for his liver is what really is concerning. So they're like, hey, we're going to keep you here to make sure you can keep your meds down. And if anything was wrong, like he's in the hospital with his liver team. So he's there now. So I think he's doing better. I'm going to call him later this afternoon. Hopefully they can release him, but it's one of those, like, I'd rather him stay in the hospital till he's in the clear, so to speak,
right,
then he can come home. So
all this back and forth nonsense, it tires you out. It's like, take him there, bring him back. Oh, take him the next day.
Yeah.
Let him stay over.
Yeah.
Make up your mind.
Exactly. And it's just one of those things as well to where it's like, when he's in the hospital, like then we start worrying about my mom because she has MS and, mobility is a difficult thing for her. So it's taking care of like two people from two different places, even though my mom would never ask to get taken care of. She's very prideful that way. She's like, she wants to do it herself, and that's fine. Like I let her try to do as much as she can, but we're there to help her out if she needs to. So it's been like a long couple of days to say the least, but, it's been a good week. We got Ninja Night coming up tomorrow. That should be a lot of fun. We've got the parade in South Jordan that's going to make class just chaotic and crazy tomorrow morning. So we'll see how
South Jordan behavior.
Yeah, we'll see how tomorrow goes.
Doing their antics out front and behind our dojo.
Yep, exactly. So, but it's a good time, good times. But let's keep the show moving and let's move on to our Liam's Facts. All right, last week's question was, in what year was the first cup of noodles made? Or I should say produced, or like where you could buy it at a store. Yes, this was brought to you by Master Lessons, who is in Japan and went to the Noodle Museum.
Interesting.
The fact that they have a noodle museum in Japan is
fascinating.
Pretty fascinating.
That's pretty cool.
But the answer to last week's question is 1971. That was when the first cup of noodles was.
What did they use before? Their hands?
Yeah, or at least, they made it at home.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Just used a bowl. But like one that you could buy at a convenience store, microwave it, and it's like on the go type thing. Should be like first noodles on the go.
Noodles on the go.
1971 is the answer.
Very good.
All right, this week's question, the gun brand H&K, what does H&K stand for?
Oh, wow.
So since we went to the range, it's like, guns are kind of on the brain.
See, you're getting material from your environment.
Trying to.
You get inspiration. You draw it from what you do, what happens.
Yeah.
It
was interesting because we were going to shoot a little 22 MP5, but my dumbass forgot to bring the magazine. So it just sat in the bag and was like, hey, look you could shoot me, but no, you can't.
That's one of the guns that you like.
It's fun. I wish I had it in the 9mm. Of
course.
Those things are...
They're pricey.
Rather pricey for what you're getting. I'm not saying, truthfully, if I ever bought one, I would buy one because it was in like every action movie I ever saw growing up as a kid. Same thing with the Beretta handgun. It's like, are they the best? Absolutely not. But you saw them in every action movie and you're like, those are so cool.
That's what inspired a few of my purchases.
Yes.
Guns that
you've seen in
would
movies.
Make better paperweights, but they're just they're just phenomenal movie references.
Yes.
And you're just holding them and pointing them down range.
And you're like, I am Rambo or whatever.
And then it jams.
Yeah. And you're like, oh. How did they make it work so well in the movies?
I know. How did it work?
So what does H&K stand for? Let us know in the comments or email us at TrueTalkTuesdays@gmail.com. Also, make sure you share the show. Love to spread this message with as many people as humanly possible because our motto here at TruMotion is building better people.
Yes.
What way to build better people?
We want
to build you into a better person. But moving on to our top 5. All right, this week's top 5 is top 5 sports nicknames.
Sport nicknames.
So nicknames that have been associated to players and athletes and all that stuff. So here's some of my honorable mentions.
You've got honorable mentions.
I do.
There's a lot of nicknames.
There are way more once you looked at it. You're like, holy crap. So Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant.
Classic.
That's a great one. I don't necessarily like it's an average nickname, but it's been taken to another level with the Mamba mentality. And it's like
Mamba mindset.
I don't necessarily associate Black Mambas with intelligence, but hey, you made it work. Go with it. So good for you guys. The great round of meat rebound, Charles Barkley.
Oh,
just, I mean, come on.
That's such a funny one. Most of my
great one.
tops are very funny.
Very funny. The hick from French Lick, Larry Bird.
Oh, wow.
That honestly, now that I'm reading it, it's like that should have been in my top 5. But the top 5 that I have, man, they're hard to beat.
Okay,
in my
let's
opinion.
hear them.
Well, I still got 2 more.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're really kind of the same nickname, but they're 2 different people. So the Eagles have 2 wide receivers, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They call A.J. Brown Swole Batman because he's very big for a wide receiver. And then they call Devontae Smith Skinny Batman.
Oh, wow.
Because he's very skinny. Like,
Nice.
he's small for an NFL player. Granted, he's not meant to be, like, tackling people. He's meant to be fast. So I would dare say he's, like, 170 pounds, if that. He's very skinny. And my family, Maya and Shanna, they get very defensive of him when people try to tackle him too hard. Like, don't hit him so hard.
Don't hurt him.
Don't hurt him. So those are my honorable mentions. My top 5, we've got the captain.
The captain.
Derek Jeter from the Yankees.
There we go.
He's known as the captain.
Nice.
One that I just have to say the nickname and everybody will know who he is. The great one.
The great one.
Wayne Gretzky.
There we go.
So this one's relatively new within the last, I would say, year. Okay. Again, another Eagles player. His name's Quinyon Mitchell. He's a cornerback. He would lock down wide receivers so much that I don't know who coined this phrase, but it is phenomenal. They call him Quinyanamo Bay.
Quinyanamo Bay.
Instead of Guantanamo Bay.
Guantanamo Bay?
Yeah. So it's Quinyanamo Bay.
That's funny.
And I was like, because he locks people up.
Because he locks people up.
And I was like, that perfect.
That's crazy.
Perfect
That's
nickname.
So good.
Probably one, again, he's known by his nickname, Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson. Real name Irvin.
Yeah, see, learning something.
And Air Jordan.
Air Jordan.
Air Jordan.
Wow.
There's 2 that I thought about putting him on, and I probably should have, like Tiger Woods, Eldrick. Great job on going with Tiger. Eldrick is a weird name. And Penny Hardaway. His real name's Anthony.
What?
Now, reason why they called him Penny is, it's funny. It's kind of by accident. His grandma would always call him Pretty Hardaway. And his friends would come over and they're like, what is your grandma calling you? And he was embarrassed because he didn't want to say Pretty. So he's like, oh, she's just saying Penny. So all his friends started calling him Penny.
What?
And that's what he was known by his entire career.
Crazy.
Is Penny Hardaway. So, all right, what do you got for your top 5?
All right. Well, a couple interesting things. Every sport has their professor, right? So
yes,
Patrick Mahomes is the professor of the NFL.
Yeah.
And then
Whatever.
Kyrie Irving, I think, is called the professor in.
Really?
And I'm just checking. I'm just gonna check. I'm checking here.
There's a street ball basketball player who's oh god, I can't remember his real name. It's something Grayson. They call him the professor. And oddly enough, a good friend of mine that I went to high school with and we played basketball together, he played college basketball with him. So I was like, hey, have you heard of this guy?
The professor.
And he goes, yeah.
Isn't that the guy that does YouTube videos?
Yeah.
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 Balls up everybody.
Yeah. And sometimes he wears the costumes.
Yeah.
Yeah. My buddy went to college and played college basketball with him.
That's
I go, how was he? He goes, he rode the bench.
He rode the bench, yeah.
Because he doesn't fit into a scheme type program. So I was like, oh, that makes sense.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
I was like, little story for you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. One of my former coworkers likes watching The Professor. It just does it for fun. And
he's good. He's dang good, but
gone.
it's one of those, it doesn't work in like organized basketball.
Yeah.
You know, most of the time he travels and carries and that's all right. He's extremely talented for what he is. I'm not discrediting any of his talent. He's obviously way better than I would have ever been. But unfortunately, a lot of the street ball, like remember the N1 guys? Only one of them actually made it to the NBA and played fairly well.
Whoa.
His name was Rafer Alston. His
Whoa.
nickname was Skip to My Lou.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's some interesting things that some of the nicknames like they have across different sports. Like everyone has a professor.
A professor.
So there's one in baseball, one in football, one in basketball, probably one in other sports. I just don't
Who's
care
the baseball
about it.
one?
Baseball one is Pedro Martinez.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Okay, so my top five.
Top five. Okay.
Got to have the GOAT as number one. GOAT.
Okay.
Tom Brady.
So I was going to say, because I think every sport has their GOAT.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
But the GOAT that I'm picking
is Tom Brady. Fair enough. Honestly, it's hard to argue Tom Brady not being the GOAT for the NFL.
Right.
Right. There's a clear-cut answer. Nowadays, it's the LeBron Jordan debate.
Right, it's the LeBron Jordan
debate.
Who's
the better one? Mm-hmm. And it depends on what age of person you ask. Anybody older than the age of 25, they're like, it's Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's probably getting older. It's like anybody over the age of 30.
30 is like Jordan.
It's Jordan. But anybody under 30, it's LeBron. Notice how I didn't put his nickname on there. Yeah. We'll see.
Okay. Well, then you have to have the big unit, Randy Johnson.
Yes, that's a great one, too. I forgot about that one. The big unit.
Randy Johnson was my favorite baseball player.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he killed the bird throwing that fastball.
And the fact that he was, 6'10"?
He was huge. And when I got 2K5, the baseball game, he was the pitcher for the Yankees. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
Was he really? Did he pitch for the Yankees?
Yeah.
I did not. I forgot about that. What year was that?
I don't know. 2K5 was the game that I got, so
2005?
Something like that.
I forgot he played for the Yankees.
We're terrible at sports facts.
I'm pretty good at them, but
You're pretty good.
I forgot that Randy Johnson played for the Yankees.
That's the only. I didn't know he played for anybody else. I didn't know he played for Diamondbacks.
Yeah, he won a World Series with the Diamondbacks, I believe. Yeah, him and Kurt Schilling.
There you go.
Yeah,
that was before I cared about sports, apparently.
Yeah.
Then we've got Megatron, Calvin Johnson.
I thought about that one.
That's a funny one.
That one's cool.
I like that one.
I don't understand it, but whatever. He was a huge wide receiver as well.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because he was big.
The Answer, Allen Iverson.
The Answer is a great one.
Yep. Iron Horse, karate reference, Lou Gehrig.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Gotta get those little mix-ins there. And then probably my favorite, but this guy hates this nickname. It's Doug Martin, Muscle Hamster.
Yeah, the Muscle Hamster.
He wants to be called something else, but that's the one that stuck.
Yep. I remember that, the Muscle Hamster. One that I forgot to put on there was Iron Mike Tyson.
Iron Mike, that's a good one.
Yes, that's another good nickname. Mariano Rivera, the Sandman.
Ooh.
Because he just puts everybody to sleep.
Are they nicknames or are they going to be professional wrestling names or fighting names?
They could. Well, Chuck Liddell was the Iceman.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. Who else was the Iceman? There was another Iceman. I can't remember. But, yeah. Pretty much any UFC fighter has a nickname.
Of course.
Because you can't just have Bruce Buffer say your name without a nickname. That's dumb.
Yeah.
But nicknames, I think they're great.
Yeah.
I think they're great. We had a student long time ago. His name is Hayden, but nobody knew his real name because I started calling him Nacho. Because he came up and was like, "Hey, Sensei Mark, can I get an eagle patch for my back?" And I was like, "An eagle patch? Sure. Like, who do you think you are, Nacho Libre?" And he's like, "What?" And then I just was starting him. I was like, "Hey, what's up, Nacho?" And I did this for about 6 months. And then all of a sudden he's all like, "Why do you keep calling me Nacho?" And I was like, "Watch this show, Nacho Libre." And he's like, "Okay." Then he comes back and he's like, "I watched the show." And I was like, "Okay, what'd you think?" And he's all like, "I am Nacho." And I was like, "Yes, you are." So he trained for about 14 years and nobody knew his real name. In fact, I had one, and he's like Scandinavian, Norwegian to the max, like fair skin, blonde hair, the whole nine. He looks nothing like a Nacho. And then I would have people be like, well, is that his real name? Like, no, it's not his real name, but everybody called him that. Everybody called him Nacho. So, but let us know what your top 5 nicknames.
What was your nickname?
My nickname?
Yeah.
It's not really a nickname, but my dad's name is Mark.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Mark.
That's right.
So you can't just say, hey, Mark, because then
you
get 2 answers. In fact, Shanna does that at the house because my whole family calls me JR.
Yep.
Coach Scott calls me JR.
Mm-hmm.
So my grandpa, when I was younger, started calling me JR to differentiate between my dad and me. Mm-hmm. And since I'm a junior, instead of calling me Junior, he would just call me JR.
Okay.
So technically it's a nickname, but like my whole family, like if you go to a family event of mine, they're
calling you JR.
They will not call me Mark. So.
Okay. I thought you'd have like a fun karate one or something.
No, I'm not important enough for
No
that.
way. You're very, very important.
Yeah.
Oh, my nickname was Bubba.
Bubba.
Growing up, yeah.
Interesting.
People would call me Bubba. And then, as my brothers got older and I got older and we had more tolerance for teasing, I was called Megamind.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I thought it was going to be something like, Tiny Tim, but they'd call you Big Steve.
Yeah, Big Steve.
Something like
Big
that.
Steve.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Big Steve. Megamind. Oh, geez.
That one, the first time that got me. That was so funny.
Oh, God.
But, you got to buy into it, and then it's like they don't have any power over you.
No, exactly. It's
like,
one of those things
matter.
where, like, if someone's trying to insult you, but you own it, you're like, thank you.
Yeah, what's the difference between me and you? Presentation.
That's right. Spider. Arachnus deathicus. Yeah. Oh, geez.
That's funny.
I don't know if you should have told me that.
That's okay.
Gonna start calling you Megamind. Or just start calling you Eminem.
Oh no, not that one. Not that one.
All right. Well, let us know if you had a nickname, and
what's
if you
your
did,
nickname?
What is your nickname?
Put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. We better start hearing some nicknames. So,
that's
right. Again, mine's pretty lame. I'll get another one. I'll get a better one.
What?
We started calling Sensei Nick Landline.
Landline.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you kept bringing. Yeah.
He brought the.
That's a story. That is.
He brought the phone to the dojo or to the tournament.
He brought the landline phone to a different place.
Nick, I love you, buddy. But your landline. I told Master Martin, I go, dude, we need to start calling Nick Landline. And he didn't know. He didn't know. And I told him the story, and he was like, I think that one will stick. So, sorry, Nick, but we'll have a good laugh at it. But let us know what your nickname is, and if it's funny or if it's not funny. Mine's pretty lame. I'm going to try to find a better one. But he is, from now on, Megamind. So, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All righty, moving on.
Ammunition.
All right, this week's questions for Ask a Sensei this is an interesting one because it can go multiple ways. Okay, multiple ways. You can be funny with it. You can be serious.
Okay.
All sorts of things can happen. What's the best question you've ever been asked?
The best question I've ever been asked?
Yeah.
Probably this one.
The nickname?
No.
Oh.
This
one.
One.
Oh. I was like, okay.
No.
Honestly, I'll say like real quick. This is kind of semi-funny, but also very important. When I'm in the dojo, the best question I can get asked is, where's the bathroom?
Really?
Yeah, because you don't want to mess around and having a mess on the floor. So,
Understandable.
Where's the bathroom? It's right there. Go right there.
Wow.
So, that's a good question. I don't know if it's the best question, but it's a good question to have been asked, so nothing happens. So,
why are you here?
Yeah. Why are you here? Why are you here?
Why are you here?
Yeah.
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people? No, I would probably say the best question that I've ever been asked is the question that is asked.
Really? Every question in that moment is the best question you've ever been asked?
Yes. If you really think about it like that. Because people could choose not to ask a question. And in fact, a lot of times you deal with people that don't ask a question. and then they either leave upset, angry, confused. Yeah. They fill in the blank because they didn't have their question answered. So if you're trying to think of what's the best question to be asked, it's any question is the best question that could be asked. I mean, that's a pretty generic answer, but I don't have some like life-altering what's the meaning of life?
Taken with the, I mean, there's certain questions that you'll get different answers to,
mm-hmm.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. I think people asking a question, like you said, is what's that spark of like, hey, I'm interested in this. I have a question and I want to know more. So that makes a lot of sense, and I think that's very valuable.
Yeah, I agree, because the more questions you get, the more invested they are in whatever it is that they're doing. Mm-hmm. So if they have a lot of questions during a class, that's great. Mm-hmm. If they have a lot of questions when they're first starting, that's great. If they have a lot of questions about something coming up, that's great. Mm-hmm. Okay. And you can tell the difference between questions that are trying to be informative to what they're doing, and then when the kids just say why. Now, saying why is good because it does create that thought process, but it's not when it's like, hey, move over here. Why?
Why?
Well, first off, because that's where I need you to be. And second, because we asked you to.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a difference between just like when kids are trying to be pestering, annoying why questions versus like, I don't understand. I need more information.
And it's important to learn that, especially because, there's certain times where don't ask a question, just do it, and you might not get hurt because of like, oh, you're out in the street, get off the street.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I've ever shared this story on the show, but Shanna's mom, when she was younger, she was in a car with her mother, Shanna's grandma, and they were in an old car, where they had to manually lock doors. Mm-hmm. I think she was in the back seat, and her mom, she wasn't paying attention. She was just sitting in the back seat, and her mom looked at her and goes, Joan, lock the door. And she just locked the door, didn't question why, didn't ask why, didn't be like, why do I need to lock the door? What does the door need to be locked for? Why? Like, are you sure? Or didn't wait to lock the door. She just locked the door. Well, someone was coming up to try to open her door. So a stranger was approaching the car with the intent of opening the door. And the second she locked the door started getting tugged.
Whoa.
So if her mom didn't listen, didn't do it, questioned, we don't know what would have possibly happened to her. So, and I don't really want to think about what would have possibly happened to her, but the fact that she just did it, I mean, there is that point of like, hey, don't question, just do it because like we don't want you to get hurt. Or that's where you're supposed to be, or, that sort of stuff.
And that carries a lot more tone.
Yeah.
It's like, there's this time to ask questions, there's a time to converse, but then there's a time where it's like,
just listen.
This is just listen. Yeah. This is me talking.
Mm-hmm. So. And sometimes you also have to know who you're talking to, because sometimes the best question is to just be quiet. Mm-hmm.
Should I be quiet? Should I goof off?
Yeah. Or we know of people in our life that the more questions you ask, the more frustrated they get. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things to where it's like, you don't understand, so you're asking questions, but the person you're asking these questions to take the questions as challenging their authority. I don't know if any of you guys know somebody like that. I know people like that, where you have to be selective with the questions you ask.
You have to like preview the question, be like, hey, I'm just wanting to ask a question for my own sake here.
Yeah. Be like, I don't understand. Could you explain that better?
You're attacking me.
Yeah. So I know people like that, where the more questions you ask them, the more frustrated and upset they get. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I'm not asking questions because I'm questioning you. I'm asking questions because I don't understand. So I think the best question that you've ever asked is the question you ask in that moment. So it's kind of like that whole, almost like, I guess, Eastern philosophy, like live today, blah, blah, blah. It's like when you look back on it, we never regret the things we do. We regret the things we don't do or don't say.
Right.
So if you have a question, just make sure you ask it. Don't
ask
leave
your
it
question in the comments below.
Ask your questions in the comments down below. Very good. All right, moving on to our next question. All right, do you believe in second chances?
What?
Yeah.
Second chances?
Second chances.
Like second breakfast?
Sure. Yeah, second helpings. Absolutely.
Yes. I believe that there's second chances for everybody.
I do too. This is where it's one of those things to where I believe in second chances. That doesn't mean I believe in giving you a second chance.
Oh, really?
If that makes sense.
That's interesting.
So, like, I do believe everybody has an opportunity to turn their life around and become better and improve on what had possibly happened to them. That doesn't mean that I have to give it to them. So I hope they get it in the world that they're living in. But there's certain things to where you can forgive, but sometimes it's hard to forget. And I don't know, it's because it sounds counterintuitive. No, like if you forgive, you should have forget. Like you should.
It's
forgive
hard.
And forget.
It's hard to forget things.
Yeah.
Especially when it's an injustice has been done.
Yeah.
Because we as human beings love remembering, like, patterns of like, this didn't feel good. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, that hurt me. That hurt my feelings. And it's like, I remember that. I'm not going to do the same thing to get the same result.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's
what's tough with second chances is that you're essentially, if it's with you, right? If someone messes up and you're like, okay, I'm going to give you another chance, then it's like very uneasy feeling because it's like, well, I've seen this result happen before.
Yeah, this is a repeated pattern.
It better not. If it happens again, it's like once a lesson, twice a fool, right?
Yeah. No, but I do believe everybody deserves a second chance. But again, that does not mean they have the second chance with you. So, I mean, it can sound harsh, it can sound mean, but I do believe everybody has the capability of changing. But will they? I don't know. That's up to them. I do believe everybody has the capacity to change. I don't think just because you've done things for a certain time frame or there's a pattern, that doesn't mean that pattern can't be broken. Just means it's a little bit harder to break that pattern or habit. So if you have a very destructive behavior where it's like every relationship you've destroyed, that doesn't mean that you can't change that.
Right.
That just means that's what you're doing right now. It's kind of like the whole questions thing. So I personally believe everybody deserves a second chance and everybody can change if they want to.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that you specifically have to give them that second chance.
That makes that I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think I'm interested in giving people second chances. I'm interested in seeing it, mostly because for me it's pretty novel. It's like it's not something that I've been burned a lot before.
Yeah.
I've been burned before, and that is tough. That does hurt. But at the same time, it's like that was yesterday. What's going to happen today?
Yeah.
Now, I'm very more critical. I'm very more self-aware, and I hope that it's like I do my research.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
Yes.
It's like, is this the recipe that's going to build the same result as last time, or is this recipe going to be different?
Yeah.
Let's look at the ingredients. Let's look at what we're putting into it.
No, I agree. And when you're dealing with people, there's always so many things besides just the outcome. I'm not saying their outcome wasn't their fault or is their fault, but they're the main recipe in that outcome because they ultimately chose to do what they did, whatever it is that they did. I mean, there's all sorts of fill in the
Yeah,
blanks.
we're just
this is very, very generally
hypothetical.
speaking. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like there's also other contributing factors into decisions that were made. Okay. Are they the main reason? No, especially the older you get.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're like a child and traumatic things happen to you, they don't know how to process that stuff. But as you get older, you have to take responsibility for your actions and for your decision making, and you can't just blame past events. Now, is the past events a contributing factor in your decision making? It can be, absolutely, but it's not the only reasoning, if that makes any kind of sense. So I think a lot of times, and granted, this is like coming from someone that currently is not dealing with very many problems. Okay. But everybody's dealing with something. So it's very easy for me to say this, but it's also very difficult to put into practice. But it's not impossible.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have to put work into it. So I feel like anytime somebody offers like criticism or like, especially when we're dealing with this stuff, like these types of things, like where it's personal behavior, it's like sometimes you have to take accountability and be like, okay, I am where I am because of the decisions that I've made, not because of past trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Past trauma is past trauma. Okay. That past trauma should not create future drama.
Bro,
even though it does a little bit, but you can stop that and choose to write any kind of story you want to. But at least that's my opinion.
I understand it. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that comes a point in time where it doesn't matter if it's like you've been dealt a bad hand.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, this is the hand that I've been dealt. I need to take accountability for this.
Yeah.
I need to be better because of this, regardless of this.
Well, it's just like poker. Yeah. Every player on the table gets dealt a different hand. That doesn't mean it's the determining outcome whether or not you win or lose. It can be a factor. I'm not saying it's not, but at the end of the game, it's how well you play the game.
It's how well you can lie to other people. Is that what you're saying?
No.
It's how well you could bluff?
Sure. Sometimes. If you think about it, it's like how well can you like talk your way out of stuff, or how well can you interpret your situation
in school?
That should be taught. Like last week's question.
Talking my way out of things.
BS 101.
It was Common Sense 101.
Yeah, but I think it should be BS 101 now.
Better Stuff 101.
Better Stuff 101. But
better subjects.
Yeah, I believe in second chances, but I also believe that you don't always have to give them that second chance. I think everybody deserves a second chance in life. And there will be people that will give you a second chance, and a third, and a fourth, and a fifth, and all that stuff. But that doesn't mean it has to always be you. You can help point them in the right direction and hope they turn their life around, but you can't be the savior for everybody. So there's other people for that, and there's another factor for that. So that's just my opinion.
Okay.
But moving on to our third and final question. All right, what species would be the rudest of all animals if all animals could talk?
What
so one
species?
More question. One more time. What species would be the rudest if all animals can talk? Well, technically it's humans, but we'll take like animal kingdom, not all mammals.
Birds.
Birds? You think birds would be the rudest?
Yeah.
Like they're sitting there on lines judging everybody.
Walker, you're a walker. You can't fly, loser.
Stupid. Oh, man, look, they dropped something, constantly judging
poop on
everybody.
Your car. Just going to poop on your car.
Yeah.
It's red. I'm going to poop on it.
I think cats would be kind of jerks.
Cats were up there, too.
Yeah, cats.
Cats are more like the nobility. They're like, indeed.
Cats are like the...
They all think of themselves as royalty. The cat.
Yeah.
Dogs are like, I know my place. I'm a part of a pack. Maybe I'll get promoted. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Cats are like, I see you're a little late feeding me.
Yeah.
Think I'm going to sit on your face. I'm going to
you
wake
like
you
this up glass jar
on
the counter?
That's a nice coffee mug.
Not
It'd be
anymore.
a shame if someone broke it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see them talking with like aristocratic
yes.
style voice. Like, royalty from London.
Indeed.
With their pinkies
Preposterous.
up. Yeah, exactly.
This is not the food I wanted.
Yeah.
I will push it to the corner.
Yes. I would think that. And also I would think like chimpanzees.
Chimpanzees.
Yeah. I think they would talk so much trash.
The howler monkey.
Yeah.
See what's crazy? The louder the monkey, the smaller the balls.
There you go.
It's proven.
It's probably not that far off from other species.
Yep.
So the ones that bark the loudest are usually the smallest dog.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you ever seen those videos online where it's the dog's name is King, and it's in this like rescue shelter for dogs, and there's this one dog that is the true alpha of the shelter.
Really?
And I think it's the owner's dog, and it walks around and it holds court. Like if dogs start acting up, it intervenes and stops it immediately.
Whoa.
And if dogs try to challenge him, he puts him in his place. And he's not a big dog either. He looks like my dog Loki.
Okay.
Very medium-sized dog. So maybe 60, 70 pounds at the most.
Yeah.
And he'll walk by king corsos, and the king corsos will like cower and move out of the way. And it doesn't bark. It moves very deliberate and slow. It is some of the wildest videos you'll ever see.
That is interesting.
And one dog was trying to challenge it for superiority.
Of course.
It happens all the time. The dog, I believe it's called King, walks over. The dog tries to like bite at it. It like moves out of the way and just stares at it. And the other dog starts backing away, lays down, rolls on its stomach in that submissive pose.
Yeah.
And the other dog literally stands on it with its hand on its throat. And I'm like, holy cow. Like, I have never seen the true definition of an alpha in a dog pack than that. And I'm like, that is the definition. And it doesn't talk, doesn't bark, doesn't say a word, just actions.
Weird if it did say a word, but yeah. If it's a quiet dog, quiet leader.
Yes.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh, you should totally look it up. If you haven't looked it up, it's pretty fascinating. But I think chimpanzees would be rude. They'd be a bunch of shit talkers.
For sure.
And shit flingers.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, the fact that they already throw poop at people. Quite literally. It's like, you're going to talk shit and throw shit.
There's a few pages on Facebook where it's like signs that you'll only see at the zoo.
Yeah.
And it's like,
don't
be
Italian.
behind. Yeah, don't speak Italian. You know, there's 9-finger Nile or whatever because he stuck one finger in the chimpanzee thing and got bit off.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't stand behind the hippo because they're gonna fling their poop everywhere.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't be next to the cage. There's a certain thing that sprays their piss everywhere, you know?
Yeah, I definitely think birds, now that you say birds would be
suck.
massive. They'd be pretty rude.
Like, there's some birds that are, like, probably have low IQ, like chickens.
Yeah.
Chickens are, like, they probably have, like, 5 words. Like, what?
Yeah. What?
Because? And,
yeah.
And whatnot. But then there's, like, those chirpy little starlings that are, like, they're like birds going through puberty. They're like, rah, rah.
Yeah. Crows are apparently smart.
Crows are smart.
And they hold grudges.
They do.
Yeah. So I could definitely see a crow being like, which one of you is
ravens? Yeah.
Yeah. And they kind of fit it too. They look emo and they think about death and stuff. So, yeah. But let us know what you think. Who would be the rudest animal if animals could talk? You've heard our 2 cents. We kind of both agreed on cats. Cats are jerks. Now, not all cats. Most cats. Like 95% of cats are jerks.
Most cats.
I had one cat. The last cat I've ever owned. I'll never own another cat. His name was Snuggles.
Snuggles.
Yeah, the complete irony of a name. It was not Snuggly. You would walk down the hall and it would hide around the corner and it would jump on you and claw you.
Yeah.
What a jerk.
They got to practice their hunting.
Yeah.
You know. Because it's not like they're in a domesticated house where their food is provided for them.
Yeah.
They're like, I must keep my skills sharp.
Yes.
I am the cat.
I am a wild animal. I am a wild beast.
A wild animal.
So
they cannot control me.
Yeah, but let us know what you think. Who you think the rudest animal would be. If we're right, if we're onto something, if we're
give
not
us some reasons
something.
why.
Give us some reasons why cats aren't the rudest animal. So just saying. But moving on to our fight scene. All right, this week's fight scene, we've got Homelander versus Superman.
Whoa.
Essentially the same type of abilities.
In a way. One's created in a lab, the other was created on Krypton.
And one's psychotic and one's not.
Well, so depends on what lore you follow. Yeah.
That's true. The Homelander I know is a psychopath.
Right.
So I haven't really read the comics. I've just watched the show. Should probably read the comics, but agreed. One of them's man-made, effectively. The other one's alien-made.
The other one's Man of Steel.
Man of Steel. But all right, so we've got Homelander versus Superman, round 1. New York? Does he?
Metropolis. Or actually, yeah. It's Vought City or something.
Is it like actual Earth? Like
it's probably actual Earth.
We'll just say New York.
New York.
Well,
they'll both be in New York.
Yeah, everything bad happens in New York, apparently. So we got Homelander versus Superman in New York. Who you got?
That's tough. That's tough because both are near invincible. But Superman is a little better in certain instances. And then Homelander has the ability to use different drugs and get different abilities and power up, right? So if we're on Homelander's turf, I think Homelander's company backing, right?
His corporation
is going to be like, oh, there's this unlicensed superhero that's not doing what we want it to do.
Yeah.
You need to take him out. Here, we've got this high-tech stuff. We're going to scan him. We found out he's an alien. Here's some injection stuff so your laser beam is kryptonite laced or whatever.
It's interesting. I feel like when we're talking drugs with Homelander, it all has to be pills because obviously you can't inject him.
Right.
Needles would just bend.
Yeah.
So I don't think they've thought it that far through, but
maybe not.
Who knows?
Maybe maybe there's a specific, because he's grown in the lab, maybe there's a spot that's like, hey, this is where you get all your injections.
That's his Achilles heel.
Maybe.
It's his injection spot. Poke him there.
But either way, it'll be a pretty tough fight. But I want to... Oh, man, that would be a tough fight. I don't even know.
I personally think Homelander will win for one major reason is he does not care about anything else.
That makes a lot of sense.
Superman would
destroy things.
He could care less if people die.
Yeah.
Superman cares too much to his detriment.
Yeah.
So he will go out of his way to save people, while Homelander was just like, well, you're in the way, too bad.
Yep.
So
it's not he doesn't. Yeah, it's like PR, whatever. I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Yeah, if you've ever watched The Boys, like he just does not care, kills mercilessly. So for that instance, especially in New York City, Superman's not really familiar with that city, so he doesn't know like where the densely populated places are versus not. I think Homelander would take him because he's trying to save everybody else, and in then doing so, Homelander would take him out. But
it would weigh on his conscience, and then he'd slip up, and then Homelander would get him.
Well, the fact that, let's just take like DCU universe Superman, Henry Cavill, he kills Zod because Zod's going to try to kill this innocent family. But Superman like never kills anybody.
But wouldn't that be the same if it's like Homelander's just gonna kill people, or Homelander's just coming after Superman, but he doesn't care about collateral?
He doesn't care about collateral.
That makes sense. So Superman's like, oh, I've got to go over here, save these people from falling or whatever.
Or like, I got to get out of the way of this, so if Homelander doesn't hit me, like...
And then all the smoke is going to blot out the sun a little bit, then he loses his powers. And then that's where Homelander wins. So I can agree with that logic.
Yeah, that's the biggest one is Homelander has zero consideration or empathy for collateral damage.
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't care. So Superman cares a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times that's used against him.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I've got Homelander round 1.
Okay.
But now they're in Metropolis.
Metropolis.
Round 2, the exact opposite happens. So since Superman knows where all the areas
He doesn't care about collateral. He doesn't care about the people of Metropolis.
He does. That's why he knows where to take the fight.
Oh.
So
interesting.
He's like, okay, I know this time this area is really clear. We're going to fight over here.
Okay.
So then he doesn't have to worry about collateral damage.
That makes sense.
And then at that point, Homelander doesn't have his drugs because he's not near his corporation. So he can't have any extra abilities or enhanced abilities.
Okay. He's set with his tool.
He's set with his normal Superman powers. Yes. Oh, heaven forbid.
Oh, heaven forbid. He can crush skulls like they're...
He shoots laser beams out his eyes.
He can fly. He can punch. Fly. Oh, man.
Man, he's got skin of steel.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's hurting for abilities at that point. But since Superman knows Metropolis better, he knows where to fight, where collateral damage is less.
Right.
So that's why I got Superman round 2.
That makes sense. I would agree. I think with the home turf, you give him something.
A little bit of an advantage,
bit
of
an advantage in both instances.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
All right, round 3.
Round 3.
In a cage. Should we say inside or should we say outside?
Oh, where has it been before? It's been inside before.
Anytime we say in a cage, I automatically assume inside.
Me too.
But there have been actual UFC fights outside on Fight Island.
On Fight Island.
Yeah, have you ever heard of that?
I have now.
Yeah, Dana White actually bought an island in Dubai during COVID so he could hold sanctioned fights during COVID because they wouldn't let him fight in the United States. So he's like, fine, I'll find somewhere where we can. So during COVID, they fought on, they called it Fight Island.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. It's in Dubai.
Very cool.
So they held fights outside.
Wow.
But I'm assuming this is inside.
This is an indoor one.
Yeah. They're in an arena.
Yep.
That was a tongue
This
twister.
is going to go for 20 rounds at least.
Oh.
Because here's the thing. Both of them will slowly tire because Homelander needs his drugs.
Yep.
And Superman needs the sun.
Yep.
So both of them slowly tire out. So which one expires faster?
Homelander.
Homelander?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I think it's because of the Superman's will.
Superman has a will.
Yeah.
Homelander doesn't.
Well, he has that for the greater good type thing. He knows that if he doesn't defeat Homelander, other things would happen. So I think that weighs on his conscience to try to beat him.
Okay.
So.
Very good.
Superman starts talking about Homelander's past and Homelander starts talking about Martha. So, or whatever.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But I got Superman winning round 2.
I think so too. I think Superman will beat Homelander.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe just because I don't want Homelander to win.
Because you don't like bad guys? Is that why?
Maybe. I don't mind bad guys.
You don't like...
I don't like seeing bad guys win.
You don't like seeing bad guys win?
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, man.
Like, I love the opposites. Like, you have your light and dark.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know how everybody loves the Joker?
Right.
I think the Joker is a very interesting character, but I don't love him.
No.
Just because, he's a bad guy. It's funny because Shanna likes a lot of, like, the bad guy characters.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, that's crazy. Yeah, I can appreciate the bad guy characters, but I don't love any of the bad guy characters.
But what's crazy, and the boys do it really well, is that the bad guys are portrayed as heroes.
Yep.
And the good guys are portrayed as villains.
Yes. I think it's a wonderful mix of the two. Good. Absolutely. Absolutely. Granted, the boys definitely for mature audiences.
Yep.
Just so we're aware.
Yep.
But yeah, I've got Superman winning.
Okay.
2-1.
Me too.
All right, moving on to our joke of the week. All right, this week's joke. Did you know Isaac Newton said, I like them thick? Thick AF with 2 C's.
What?
Yeah, then his assistant says, "Sir, we can't say that." He said, "Fine. Then write down, the greater the mass, the greater the force of attraction."
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Science joke.
Science joke. So here's another funny story. When I started being a bus driver, and I've had people just tell me that I'm just a horrible bus driver, and I'm confused, and I'm like, where do these people get off?
That's a funny one. I haven't heard that one before. That one was good. That was good. Oh, speaking of, when we were talking about chickens, and since Master Lesson likes chicken jokes, he's like, "Why do chickens have 2 doors?"
I don't know.
Because it's a chicken coop. If it had 4 doors, it'd be a chicken sedan.
Oh, of course, of course.
There you
That's
go.
funny.
But let us know what your favorite joke is, or if you've got a funny joke for us that we can either use on the show or shout you out with, and we will totally do that. But moving on to our shout outs. All right, this week's shout out, I'm going to shout out you. You've been very helpful here at the studio while I've been dealing with the hospital with my dad, so I really appreciate that.
Giving your family a little self-defense lesson too.
Yeah, doing some self-defense stuff with that.
It's all right, I'm here.
Yeah,
taking care of things.
I appreciate that, so thank you for holding down the fort while we've been dealing with some stuff, and hopefully you can start going on some vacations this year.
That'd be nice.
That'd be great.
It'd be a nice change.
Yeah.
But I mean,
a little getaway.
I enjoy this. I enjoy teaching here.
It's one of those things to where it's like, I don't understand the concept when people talk about, like, oh my gosh, I need a vacation.
I need a vacation.
And it's like, I don't really need one. I'll go on one. Like if Shanna wants to go out of town, I'm like, I will go out of town because I know Shanna needs to go out of town. But it's like, oh my gosh, I need a vacation. No, not really. It's like I really like what I do. I like teaching.
Let's put it in perspective, right? It's like we have students. Let's call those clients, right?
Yeah.
Other people have clients.
Yeah.
But with our students, we can do pretty much anything.
We get to do fun stuff.
We get to do fun stuff with them.
Not only do we get to teach them martial arts, but we can do fun drills with them.
That's where the fulfillment comes in.
Yeah.
And you're able to not need a vacation because it's not like, oh, I don't have to go over this thing every single day.
Yeah. But I mean, is it nice to leave and like recharge?
Oh, absolutely.
Every now and then, yeah.
You got to leave the state and figure out that there's life that goes on beyond it.
Yes.
And that sort of grounds you in a bit.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, my issues aren't actually that bad.
Yeah. And it's interesting, when I come back from vacation, I'm more like invested in the students, because it's like, either one, I miss them, or two, it's like you spend some time self-reflecting and be like, all right, what can I do better? And then for me, it always seems like I come back and I'm like, okay, I can do this better. I can do that better. And ultimately the students become better because of it. So I'm not saying nobody should take vacations, but I don't understand this notion of like, oh God, I need a vacation. It's like, I don't know. My life is pretty good. I mean, is it perfect? No, nobody's life is perfect. But Shanna was actually talking about that when she went to her credit camp a couple weeks ago. She's like, people are always like, oh my gosh, I need to get out of town. Or like, oh, this is so nice to be away from the husband and the kids. And Shanna's like, I don't
know where you're getting that.
Yeah. Like, and anytime like she goes out of town, like everybody that goes, they have to like party and like,
those
go to bars and this and that. And they
silly.
Like flirt and hook up with other people. Man. And then she's all like, they're like, are you coming to the bar? And she's like, no. They're like, why not? Don't you need to cut loose? And then she's like,
11 p.m.
She's like, I'm tired. And like, we've got class in the morning. Yeah. Like, no. And she goes, yeah, when I was younger, she's like, yeah, it'd be fun to go out to the bars all the time.
There is a fun part of that.
Yeah. But like, these are like all grown adults.
These are grown adults.
Like we're talking 40s, not in their 20s. So yeah, but appreciate you for teaching. I
appreciate.
I thank it. Thank you for
shout out
it.
Paige for yesterday, because we had another. Well, I don't know. There's a UV. Obviously, he's trying to build up some confidence to come in.
Yep.
And she was very patient with him.
Was he still kind of throwing a fit?
Yeah. It's like,
but yet Wednesday, perfectly.
Oh, when
fine.
it's personal class, it's like, oh, he's just having fun.
Yeah,
he's just having fun. But now it's like there's other kids. It's like, whoa.
And it's
also
going to
shout out Raleigh for coming in.
Yep, shout out Raleigh.
Good to have him in class on Wednesday.
Yep, very good.
Mm-hmm.
But we still don't have anybody requesting any cool stories that we can shout you out.
Come on.
Because we all know self-praise is no praise.
That's right.
Master lessons. And so let us praise you.
Put the story in the email. No one else will see it. TrueTalkTuesdays@gmail.com.
Yep.
And we'll read it.
And we'll read it for you. If we remember.
If we remember.
I'm just kidding.
But we're pretty good at that sometimes.
We are pretty good.
When we remember to be good at it, we're very good at it.
When we remember to do it, we're the best at it.
We're so good.
Exactly. So, but moving on to our final thoughts. All right. Any final thoughts you'd like to leave the people with?
Enjoy every day.
Yeah.
Go outside.
It is nicer weather. It's warm. It's hot.
Touch some grass,
Touch some grass.
Touch some grass.
I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that, but
no.
It's like, Stephen, this is a family show.
This is a family show.
Maybe. I don't know. It is a family show.
It is a family show.
Yeah.
It's a comedy.
It's a comedic informative.
Yes.
So, but I agree. Get out there. Enjoy the sun.
It's only going to get hotter where we live, so there'll be a time where it's like we have to go inside if we don't want to vaporize.
Yeah, like the test on Saturday.
Well,
my goodness,
self-inflicted. You guys were actually working out.
I was like drenched in sweat, and I was just standing there.
What?
Yes, probably from being in the proximity of everybody else.
That makes sense.
And we were in the back bottom dojo, and it was just like a sauna. My goodness, you get anywhere near the windows and you'd get like 3rd-degree burns. But apparently everybody in the main dojo was fine because they had all the doors open and cross ventilation. Mm-hmm. They're like, it actually wasn't too bad until everybody else came back in. I was like, oh, that's wonderful. So, but yeah, it was a good. Congrats to all the people testing. Congrats to Tobin for getting his black belt.
It was awesome. Tobin came in yesterday. It was really cool.
Yeah, and Paige got her brown belt.
That's right.
We got who else? Kate and Randy and Elsie got their green. Braden, and Lucius got their advanced green. Jane got her green.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Simon, CJ get their advanced blue. Malcolm got his advanced blue. So we had about 16 people testing. It was great. Sadie got her advanced green. Yep. Yeah, great test over the weekend. But thanks for taking the time to hang out with us today. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Kick it with us next week, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good day.